Alright, time to film this log. I've got many ideas on the mind that I've planned to talk about, so I'll get on with it. Very basically, what I'm thinking of doing is going through the thoughts I've got on my pad here, and also just talking about what's happened during this session. Something that's really been on the mind is about this idea, this saying, that if you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. Now, I've been having quite a few issues with this. I'd probably say, now that I think about it, maybe for years now, but it's really only now in these past couple of days or so where, with the help of these sessions, I'm learning how to plan and actually act on that plan, even if I don't follow it exactly to a T. This is why I believe I've been having issues with this. From day to day, although I would plan, sometimes it would be very rare. If I remembered what my plans were for the day in the morning, then I'd make potentially quite a lot more progress than I am at the moment. Because without that planning in my mind, then I just stay in bed. I might actually write that down. Hold on a second. Where's my pen? There you go. Alright. So maybe for planning outside of exercising, or maybe even to do with workouts that I'd be doing in the gym with weightlifting, what I might need to do is plan the day before and or oh no, I forgot what I was going to say now, but very basically, plan the day or the night before and get it into my head that I've got things that I want to do in the morning, so that when I wake up, I'm not just staying in bed. I've got these things in my mind that I want to do, that I'll get up for. Yeah. I've written down that this is my idea with a lack of structure outside of exercising. I don't have the planning in mind when it's time to do it, potentially due to the lack of planning the night before, so that I remember the plans when it's time to go. Very basically, yeah. That's what I said. Now, with that in mind, it's something that I can work on, and it's something that I've gone out of my way to work on. When there was quite a bit of peace and quiet, very conveniently, for a short while, I just thought that I'd get it together and try something that I've tried in the past in combination with what I'm doing at the moment. For example, with what I've got with the exercises, all this tracking that I'm even doing right now on camera is working. This way of doing things with exercises is something that I'm looking to carry on with other aspects of my life, because it clearly works. And when it's time to go out of my way to improve it, because I think that I have a more effective idea, then I can do that. But for now, I just want to use something that works. And this is something that I know, tracking whilst I'm doing the thing I want to do. Now, with all of the other aspects of my life, I don't do this. This sort of doing what I've planned to do and tracking it whilst doing it is something that I don't have in the other aspects of my life that works. Now, in order to really push myself with exercises, I might have to adapt this way of exercising and this way of tracking, because I doubt that I'll be able to really push myself with rate of perceived exertion by tracking this much. It's obvious that as the video goes on, or maybe even all the way up to this point, that I'm doing a lot more tracking than I am doing exercising. Now, it does help, but in order to reach a certain level of difficulty and to really push myself, I think I might have to track less and just remember more. For example, what I could do is I could go through one entire set and then track. I'll actually write that down. I did to push myself forward for pushing to high levels of RPE, rate of perceived exertion, to get to basically training to failure. So my idea for this is, after just saying it now, is to only track what I've got down after I've done it. Only track what I've done after I've completely finished the set. I imagine this would help. It's not something that I'm certain about, but I really believe it would. It's a prediction of mine. I can try that out, see if it works, because I really value it. I'm gonna underline it. There you go, and I'll see how I get on. But I definitely believe that one of the main reasons as to why I've been planning on and off, but haven't been following through with other areas of my life, but I have been over here with the exercising, is because of not doing things this way, where I'm tracking as I go along and I'm saying what's happening, and also thinking about like planning the day before. Planning the day before and comparing and just getting on with it, and also comparing what I've done the day before to what I would have done on the day. I haven't done that yet, but it does help to see that I'm making progress. That could be one of my reasons as to why I keep going and doing this. It's very easy to follow through. I find it very easy to follow through with this because I don't need to constantly think about planning. I might, in fact, write up what I think I'm doing right over here, but what I think I'm not doing over in the other aspects of my life, and therefore why I keep on finding it difficult to act on an everyday basis. I was recording in my room, but for some more peace and quiet, I've decided to come to the car. Hence, if there's any difference in audio quality from the last 2 clips to now, that's why. I think I lack in tracking. Very specifically, tracking as I'm going along, exactly like how I'm doing now on camera. In my mind, as far as I'm concerned, I really think it's guaranteed that if I give myself a plan to follow from day to day, and I track as I go along, that's the main part that I'm doing here but not doing in other aspects of my life, I genuinely predict that it's certain, there certainly will be change. and I certainly will be doing more of what I want to do. In order for this to be sustainable, I really do believe it would be within my best interest to give myself a lot of space to also relax, but not too much. Like how I've probably done today. I've come off the gas for a few days with applying for work, and I know I've got to go to the job centre tomorrow morning, and I'm starting to think, I don't want to go. Alongside that, for the next few days, I've got places to be so that I can keep on getting that universal credit money. I exercise already, so it wouldn't just be for that, really. However, talking to people is nice. It definitely is pleasant talking to people whilst doing the workouts, but if we're talking about the exercise and exercise alone, I think being able to have these sorts of sessions that I've recorded on camera are really helpful. I was going to say I prefer these sorts of sessions, but I'm going to give myself the space to not pick and say that I like both training by myself and with other people, specifically with coaches, for different reasons. I don't like the music. I think it's too loud. It's not necessary. But having people there to train with and having the coach as guidance shows how much I can truthfully do. Now, as for training with myself, I'm learning how to be that coach. And in order to provide personal training services, it definitely does make sense that I could do this for myself so that I could do it for other people. I believe that if I don't know how to do this for myself, I'm making it unnecessarily difficult for myself to train other people and therefore do the job that I've given myself properly. To give this path that I'm wanted to go on and the role that I've been hired for, to do that properly. I think I'd be making it unnecessarily difficult if I can't have sessions like this. Now, I'm not sure if I said this, but I do have plans for how I could push myself further RPE-wise compared to what I'm doing at the moment. I'm certainly making progression with this sort of tracking and exercise, and this way of exercise. But RPE-wise, I'd say I'm definitely not reaching my max. I'm not breaking a sweat. I do find it difficult, but not so much to the point where I'm starting to sweat. So that means if I were to really want to push myself to the max, I've got to do more. Now, in order to make that happen, I would definitely need to track less. Or track less during the exercises. If I do that and still track to the same standard, or at least to a similar standard, and build up on that I am at the moment with tracking this long, then I think I'd be able to push myself to any sort of ability that I'd like. I don't give myself a limit on how long I can track for. And because of that lack of limit, this is what I get. Or this is what I create for myself, really. It's not something that's happening to me. It's something I am doing. So it's my responsibility to take care of things and to take accountability by acknowledging that it's me tracking this long. Probably for minutes at this point. Yeah. In order to progress RPE-wise, as I say I'd like, I definitely need to track less in between sets. But that doesn't mean that I have to stop tracking as a whole. But this is a start, and I have no problem with this sort of exercising and tracking being my foundations. By the way, the reason why I had my the other phone there is because I was using that stopwatch to time how long I was doing the holding the LSIT for. I've made plenty of progress with the LSIT today, and I definitely feel more than happy with how far I've got. So much to the point that during the session I gave myself a high five. But because the phone died, this video, footage wise, it's gonna cut abruptly. But I don't think I'll make the voiceover cut abruptly. But anyway, yeah. To summarize, I think if I'm looking to make progress with all of my aspects of life outside of exercise, as I say I do, I can literally just follow this way of planning that I've got and that I've shown on camera before, like with yesterday's log. If I follow that plan and reality table that I've created, and I track what I do throughout the day, and adapt like how I would during the sessions, so I do what I think is going to help me progress, and I do what I feel satisfied with, then it's guaranteed that I'll make progress. I believe that with training in calisthenics, I definitely have all of the resources that I need. But because I haven't gone and bought these resources, unlike how I planned to the other day, because I didn't think I was going to keep the gym membership at the CrossFit gym I currently go to, I'm making it unnecessarily difficult for myself to have access to the resources that would really help me with pushing myself with calisthenics. For as long as I lack convenient access to a pull-up bar and gymnastics rings and weights, like 15 kg weights, 10 kg weights, 20 kg weights, a barbell and maybe a squat rack and a bench, etc., I'm making it unnecessarily difficult for myself to really, really push myself at home and give myself convenient access to being able to do that. This is all because of me. This is all because of my lack of resourcefulness. And for as long as I lack an income, this is going to keep on happening. However, without the structure in place that I've given myself for these sessions, for example, and the consistency to rely on to be able to create that resourcefulness that I'd look for, that goes way beyond my expectations, I definitely will not get anywhere far, even though I say I'd like to, and I might complain that I'm not where I'd want to be. I definitely remember doing that maybe a lot more in the past than I have been doing recently, but I just might not have been catching myself doing it. I definitely do complain, but I think I do it practically. I say what I feel dissatisfied with, like a lack of income, and I'm going out my way to solve that issue. I've got an idea for where I'd like to go financially, and I plan to achieve that. However, not at the cost of my health. That's where boundaries lie. Not at the cost of my health and my fulfillment. If I have multiple sources of income as I'd like, or as I claim to want, which I still stick by, but I find it dull. I find all these things dull. I'd rather have a smaller salary and budget to work with, even though I experience a lot more fulfillment, because I want to enjoy life a lot more. I want to enjoy my way of life a lot more if I do things that way compared to doing them the other way, where I'd have a larger income, but like I remember Austin Dunham saying with his job, finding life or doing a dull job. Yeah. Although I might do that in pursuit of doing something that I really like, I'd like to imagine that I have enough sense to eventually remove myself from that job and get myself out of there to do something that I really enjoy. All right. I think those are all of the notes that I've got. Oh, pardon me. But there's a couple more things that I plan to say that I haven't said yet. So one of them is talking about the LSIT progress that I made off camera. That actually really helped with the session, even though I just tried it once. I was going out my way to practice how to contract my abs and whilst having a straight back. So basically doing what I was doing earlier with the L-sits and not tucking my legs in whilst trying to do those holds. And as I plan to also say, I'm doing voiceover because I didn't just want background noise, because I wasn't speaking much at all. I just said one thing in this clip and that's it really. And because it was way outside, I thought I'll do a voiceover instead. But yeah, man, that's it. I made a load of discoveries, which I think I'll put. I always show what I've done, and what I've written down. So today's no different. I'll do that as well. But yeah, for now, I think that will be it, because that's all I've got for this log. I'll probably talk about deep things maybe on the mind for the part 2 and part 3, or maybe I won't put anything on them at all, so that I can master. I would rather that, honestly, mastering like this sort of tracking system with other aspects of my life, so I can actually make more progress than I've ever done with progressing on that front. But for now, that's it. I'll leave it at that. Cheers to making that happen, and cheers to creating a life that I want to live day by day. Peace. That's me out. I saluted. You can't see that because it's just a voiceover, but yeah, that's me done. Peace. Cheers to moving forward in life, day by day, bit by bit, piece by piece. And on that note, peace out.